Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. I've got the member of Naked Eyes here with me. If and you were born in 1956, and I think this is really the story.
God.
No, but we need to talk about promises that was made to Vic Fangio when Elway hired. Now, okay, why should people come to this channel? Why?
Because
one reason is that sports talk radio for half the season this season, what was the drum they kept pounding over and over again? Fire Vic Fangio, right? Okay, that was the drum that sports talk radio, the dumbasses over there were pounding. Me and you would look at each other and say, they can't fire Vic Fangio, or Elway cannot fire Vic Fangio for promises that were made to Fangio. And what did we say? Vic Fangio was hired as a defensive coordinator, right? You guys are crazy. We're crazy. So, Elway thought, well, I'm going to take over the, rebuilding the team. I'll be the head coach. You just be my Wade Phillips. That's all I need. Just you be my Wade Phillips. Well, as the season goes on, he's going to Elway. So you're letting me out to dry. Promises, I was supposed to be able to have and, bring this team back. Okay, well, I wanted to get the offensive player personnel. So he hired the brash core of receivers. The offensive line went down the toilet. No mind of that. But so the end of the season comes. Was this ever really a big surprise? Well, I guess Elway claiming that he was going to not meddle would be a big surprise. But keeping Vic Fangio, and if you look at it, Vic Fangio now, if Elway in the front office is true, and being honest, okay, Vic Fangio essentially just became the GM, and the guy he's bringing in, and they're going to co-GM this. I mean, so anyway, I think people in other places, they can't talk about what we talk about, okay? Because they got sponsors, okay? But we do this for you. All of you out there. This is actually the fans channel. No, this isn't for sponsorship, trying to get access. We're here. We have the no bullshit fans. We don't take bullshit. Okay. We tell it like it is. So anyway, what have you got to say? I'll stop ranting.
I just want to say this about the whole sponsors and the whole, we don't get paid to do this. I worked till 4 a.m. this morning, and I still got up early to do this for you guys. And I still am passionate about this. I just want to say something about the last podcast real quick. I want to apologize for my actions. I shouldn't have said the things I said in the manner that I said it. But I'm so passionate about this that it's very hard for me to hold back on people that call us out for saying that we say bullshit, and the things that we say are 90% dead on. So I just have to put that out there real quick. That was just a side note. To go back to what you were originally saying, I'm not going to be happy about this Chad Kelly hire. I know when in the last podcast I said that this hire would not be an Elway hire. But the reason I say this is because Elway's still going to be the meddling player operations. They're still going to have to go through Elway for, like you said, the money. They're still going to have to do all this. So I'm not really too happy about Chad Kelly coming in. I want to give him a chance, and I will give him a chance. But I'm not going to go all in until Elway's out of the picture. And we just have, to me, I think that Bronco fans, and I agree with some of your video yesterday, but I also disagree with some of it because
how dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?
You've got to agree with me totally 100%, or I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, the part that disagree with. I agree with most of it, but the one thing I disagree with is the whole Elway thing, the whole Elway concept. I don't think that this thing will be turned around in a year. I think that this thing is going to be. I think what they're going to do this year in this offseason, I think that it's just going to be a wait and see. I think that they're just going to sit on their asses. I don't think they're going to do a whole lot to change this team. I think that they're just going to make the necessary player personnel decisions to, compete this year. I don't see that happening. I think that Elway is still going to meddle. I think that you're going to see some decisions that make no freaking sense whatsoever. And I don't think that you're going to see the power that Fangio was supposed to have and Chad Kelly that ultimately should have the power to make the ultimate decisions. I know that you watched the press conference. What did you get out of that press conference? Because what I got out of that press conference, when it comes to the important decisions, Elway's still going to be involved. And that's where I have to be cautious about if they want to get rid of Juwan James in that contract. They're not going to do that because that's Elway's golden standard, and same with hot tub or rubber boy, Graham Glasgow. If they want to go after a cheaper version or go with Nutane Moody, who's played very well at that position, first person to bring it up, by the way, but stuff like that, the important decisions, Elway said it in his press conference that he's still going to be involved.
Yeah. Because they're talking out of two sides of their mouths. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. But what I want to talk about first is I want to back it up a little bit. Back up. Before we get into this GM thing, let's talk about what we were talking about during the season, and again, why people should come to our channel, as opposed to people who won't talk about any of this stuff. Okay. Until now, they're forced to. But we were talking, this is stuff we were discussing before. Just like, what? We're getting that stupid look from people that don't know, right? Yet our subscriptions are growing. But we got to step back.
Okay.
We got to look at where we are. What's the situation when we're talking about GMs? So what we have in the Denver Bronco franchise right now is what I call the island of misfit toys. Your guy, Adam Peters. We'll just say that. Well, you have some others, but we'll just simplify this. You have Adam Peters out of San Francisco. I got the guy out of Kansas City. Okay, we got two different guys, but basically the concept is the same with these two guys coming in. Well, what would those two guys do? What would they do here? They can't function like a real ownership type situation. That was brought up in the press conference now. Yeah. They dismissed it. It was Ellis. Ellis dismissed it. But we had brought this up the entire season. The entire season. So if I'm Peters or my guy, I'm going to go and want to get that relationship with the owner. Now, we got to talk about, what did we talk about before this season ended? We have to first talk about cleaning house. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're a GM, a real GM, okay, you're a real GM, like Peters, for instance, your guy, you're going to want your own scouting department, okay, and you're going to work with whatever head coach you're going to hire. Okay, you're going to put together a scouting team that reflects that system. Okay, because that's the way they do it. The organizations that have their shit together, that's how they do it. Okay, so the first thing, my question is this: if you're giving Fangio and obviously we'll get into Champ, he's been up since four. I don't know. He's got off of work at 4. He's been up all night.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're going to give Kelly and Fangio actual GM responsibilities, player personnel responsibilities, you think you're going to keep these scouts who have been around through all these horrible picks that the Broncos have had are responsible for that? Or are you going to allow Fangio and Kelly to get rid of them, first clean them out, and get guys that uh, Munchak, for instance, and Fangio, they're looking at these type of players that are specific. I think that starts with, if you're going to be honest, if you're the Denver Bronco organization and you're going to be honest, you got to first get rid of the scouts. The scouts and that have done nothing but get horrible picks before all this. I mean, these guys have been around for years. Let's clean them out. Get them out. Let's get Fangio, and look at this too. Here's the other thing: if you swallowed the pill that Fangio was the problem, you got to really be beside yourself now, because unlike the dumbasses at Sports Talk Radio, we were saying the whole time, this is the guy that's keeping this franchise respectable for the most part. Yes, there were failures, okay, but for the most part, it was his defense was keeping the Broncos in games while the offense was sputtering, and defenders were coming through the offensive line like a turnstile. Okay, so where I'm coming from is that there is no other. Our guys aren't going to work in this situation. This is the island of misfit toys, okay?
Yep.
And right now, Champ Kelly actually makes sense because him and Fangio work together.
Mm-hmm.
Your problem and my problem, I think, are we're aligned. We're saying that Elway is, again, the person that's going to impede this only solution that can work. Even though there's no way our guys can function in this island of misfit toys.
No,
they can't do what they if they go into where there's ownership and they can get the new on board with it. They can pick a new head coach, a system, all that stuff. Okay, we already got the head coach. But now we got somebody who's worked with the head coach. In my opinion, if they got anybody else, it would just be stupid, because you have two guys that have a history together, working together, and they did a pretty good job in Chicago. You're saying, and I'm saying, can Elway not interfere if they say, for instance, want to get new scouts? We're going to fire your scouts, John Elway. Wait. Hey, you said no meddling. Fire the scouts. We're going to bring our own guys who know how to scout. So that's my rant on the beginning of the start of it.
Okay, so I have to backtrack. I just want to bring up what we've been saying all along. Listen, I'll talk about the Fangio thing real quick. This guy, Vic Fangio, you're going to criticize him for the play clock management. Yet, who was the head coach on this team? I mean, people aren't reading between the lines here. I mean, it's not rocket science, because every time I watch Fangio on the sideline, he's with his defensive coordinator, Ed Donatel, and they're doing notes together. There is no accountability on this team. There is no accountability from a coaching standpoint. Yet I hear each and every week that we have to fire Vic Fangio. It could, Pat Shurmur wished in his heart of hearts that he had a defense coordinator like Vic Fangio. The disrespect that this guy gets on a daily basis, Vic Fangio, it just blows my mind. You guys want, okay, Sports Talk Radio and the Feel Good fans, you guys want to get rid of Vic Fangio? Who else is going to come here? I've brought this up so many times throughout the progression of our videos. Who's going to come here? Okay, Doug Marrone, Jeff Fisher, Todd Haley.
Yeah,
I mean, those are the candidates you're going to get. Vic Fangio, what he has done with this defense through all the injuries, through all the terrible player personnel decisions that Elway did, he kept this defense respectable. He kept this franchise respectable. And he's still doing the best he can.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are so ignorant enough, Cody Rourke and Sports Talk Radio, to get that through your freaking little brain.
James Marilat,
yeah, again, yesterday was spewing his same old bullshit, trying to defend Elway. What? Okay, me and you, from the beginning of the season, said when we started this franchise will not go anywhere until they get a real damn owner, until they uproot everything. I'm sticking by that. I'm going to stick by that sentiment. that this thing will not be turned around, and I think that this team will be sold. This is what I think happened. Okay,
It has to be.
I think that Elway and Ellis realize that this team needs to be sold, and I think in the next 15 months to a year, this team will be sold.
Well, I think
they rush.
I think they in their press conference actually couldn't get around that. I think that they had to actually admit that sheepishly, but admit that. Go ahead.
Dang, Ellis and Elway realized that they need to sell this team. Okay, this is why Elway moved on to just having one title, and this is why Ellis said the shit that he did. I don't trust anything those two say, because one is protecting another, because they have to.
Yeah.
And when Ellis said that Elway isn't going to meddle, I mean, come on. I mean, he is the director of player personnel, the player operations guy. You do not think that he's going to meddle when big decisions come out, like Justin Simmons, like Shelby Harris, etc. I don't think any of those players are going to come back. I honestly think that you have Fangio and Chad Kelly. I want to give them a chance. I do. But how am I supposed to feel confident in those two when you still have the man who's making the same amount of money, even more, and he is going to be in charge of the checks and all that? I mean, this guy Elway is notorious for overpaying people that don't need to be paid.
Yeah, exactly. Overpaying the wrong people. Yeah.
Graham Glasgow on
somebody washed up and past the prime, and because we don't have people that know how to. And again, scouting department, that's another issue too.
They're going to keep it. I don't think they're going to uproot that. I really think that they're going to keep it around, because what I've consistently said, that with this whole GM, I knew they weren't going to go after Evan Peters. That was just a guy that I was just hopeful for, but that bridge is burned because of Ellis.
Yeah.
And when it comes to this whole situation, I really hope that Elway doesn't meddle, and I want to see what Chad Kelly can do and Vic Fangio can do, and have him just let him unleash and let him do their thing. But we're gonna have an owner in the next 1 or 2 years. It's coming. Okay, I mean, this whole Elway thing and Ellis thing has just confirmed that. I think that Fangio's here for 1 more year. I think that he'll be fired at the end of the year. I think that this Chad Kelly thing might be a year thing, just 1 year thing, and they're just going to uproot it all.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
I mean, people don't, 1 sec. People don't understand that Matt Russell was the first guy Elway went to. So Matt Russell would have been the GM. I mean, this whole Chad Kelly experiment, I have a really bad feeling about it. I just have a really bad feeling about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what you're saying is what we believe is that this is just a facade. It's window dressing.
Yes.
It's smoke and mirrors. It's just when this thing goes south, hey, don't blame me. And you already know, because Sports Talk Radio didn't say one thing this whole season in Elway's part. You did, okay, you hated Fangio, right? Sports Talk Radio wanted to fire, but you never blamed Elway, saying they said that they were going to hold Elway accountable if it turned out to be a fire Fangio.
Of course they weren't going to do
that. They weren't. Well, look what happened when this whole thing went down. This man. What did Sports Talk Radio? They had something prepared, pre-prepared, ready to go, a fluff piece.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this: if John Elway had been anywhere on any other organization, the other 31 teams, and done the job he has done, would he be getting fluff pieces by the press in those situations? No. They would want him drummed out a long time ago. Okay, there would be no fluff pieces. They say, "Hey, you tried years, 10
years."
Yeah.
This guy's been GM for 10 years. Just think that.
Well, and
go ahead.
defensive coordinator. Pat Bowlen steps in and says, no, I want Wade Phillips. Okay, thank God Pat Bowlen was meddling and brought in Wade Phillips. So for everyone who has this delusion that it was all John Elway that put this Super Bowl 50 together, explain to me when Manning says I signed because I had a talk with Pat Bowlen. That was the thing that drove it over the top. Yes, I initially John Elway contacted me, but it was Pat Bowlen. And how in the world would John Elway have won a Super Bowl with Vance Joseph as the defensive coordinator?
Oh my God.
How would you get Marcus Ware and all these players and if Vance Joseph and then of course Vance Joseph would not have had any say. It would have been all meddling by John Elway. Now Wade Phillips had say because Pat Bowlen gave him that. That was the only reason he had to say. That's why he had to go. So now we come full face again as what are we dealing with here? Are we dealing with honesty?
No.
And that Vic Fangio and really I'm going to great to say, oh, Elway had nothing to do with any of this. It's all, even though we won't know what Elway's going to like put an axe on. Oh, no, you can't get rid of the scouts. To me, they need a new scouting department.
Yes, but you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that this year. I mean, the reality of the situation is you're not going to get it this year because they're just going to keep the same old shit that they've been for the past 10 years. So for STR to call out Hot Take Radio that we're applauding ourselves for the Elway debacle, I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to pat myself on the back because we were the first person to actually bring up this.
We were the only people talking about this.
We were the only people talking about this shit. And I mean, we're not going to put out bullshit and we're not going to kiss your ass. I mean, I am probably, when it comes to Broncos, there is nobody in the world that is more hard on the Broncos than I am, and you as well. There is no channel that is harder on the Broncos because we want to be the fucking best. I said it. I want to be the fucking best. I don't want to be settling for second. This is the old adage: if you ain't first, you're last. From Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last. And we're last. We're last in scouting. We're last in free agency. We're last in coaching. We're last in the aspect of an organizational stability standpoint. We're last in every category that you can think of. We are.
Now, one thing that I've said before this season started, I was harping last offseason, and I brought it into this season, was cultural change. Did anybody in Sports Talk Radio, did any of the other online Bronco channels, any of them, did anybody use the phrase cultural change? Did you ever hear? So
no, fire coaches. Fire that's going to change the culture.
Yeah, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, but here, I just want to make this point. So now that this GM, this whole GM facade thing, Elway stepping down facade, isn't this really their way of saying, well, we're going to give you cultural change? Everything that I said going back to last offseason. So I'm just saying, buyer beware. You're saying it too. Buyer beware. I can't see any other GM that would make sense in the situation because, I mean, nobody else has that repertoire with Fangio, except this guy.
Well, and we also have to think of this is probably the last destination that you will go to be a GM. I mean, the guys that we talked about, they ain't gonna come here.
They can't.
the guy that I read up about your guy, he will never come here. He will never come here because of Elway, and we don't have an owner.
Yes.
I think we have to think about it in that aspect. Okay. When it comes to Von Miller, okay, I just want to bring this up because in the comments section, they thought I was the GM. Oh my God, people are just so fucking stupid. Von Miller is leaving. If you don't get that through your fucking little brain of yours, then you're fucking retarded. I'm sorry. Or stupid.
You really have to take something to keep him.
You have to do everything to keep him. But I mean, does he look like a guy that wants to stay here?
No.
Okay. Want to pay.
Here's this thing too. I'm sorry, but just think about this for a second. I think Von Miller's kind of calling the organization out.
Thank you.
You know, during this season. Okay. So this is part of what prompted all this, because there's a reputation. See, you had Joe Ellis getting, you know, who's about as monotoned as Mr. Spock, you know, about as boring as it gets. And he was actually fired up when it came to, you know, meddling and who's going to come to an ownerless organization. That's what Von Miller's calling out. So they have to put on this show, you know, for player personnel. No, we're not. Okay, this isn't going to be Elway meddling anymore. No, because I think the perception around the league is more along our line. You know, so.
Justin Simmons, you better not pay him top 5 safety money, because I watched the film again last night while I was work because I'm passionate about this. Oh, God. Justin Simmons is not a top 5 freaking safety. We have other important needs on this team. If you're so stupid enough not to understand that thing, I don't know how to help you.
Well, we're not talking Atwater here.
We're not talking Palomalu. We're not talking about Cam Chancellor. We're not talking about the guy before okay. We're not talking about the guy that was the Atwater before Atwater. Who groomed Atwater to be who he was? What's his name? Neil Smith or something. I forgot his name. I forgot his name, and I'm pissed off that I forgot his name.
Well, no, we don't have. Yeah. Well, here too, like you said, you know, the safety. This is the thing. If you can get something more along the lines of Rich Tombstone Jackson in the front, you get a front that's a fearsome front.
Yes.
You don't have to have a Justin Simmons. So you can spend less and still maintain the same quality if you can just get a fierce pass rush going on the up front.
Like you said in the last video, Malik Jackson was the glue that held that wheel together.
Yes.
You're dead on that, okay?
Yes.
Nobody will bring that up. Not Sports Talk Radio, not Cody Rourke, not the Feel Good fans will ever bring that up to you. We'll never say that. Because, Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. I'm not going to take anything from what they did during that Super Bowl 50 run. But the guy that was making those key plays happen was in the trenches, pushing the pocket so he could go Ware or Von Miller. Okay? Yeah. This isn't rocket science here. If you watch the Orange Crush defense, what did they have? They had a fearsome front with Mecklenburg, with Lyle Zato, with all these players. Carter. Yes. You had all these players up front that teams feared. And I hope that Fangio goes back to that same mindset that Phillips did during Super Bowl 50 and even 2016. He had a fearsome front. So
Barney Chavis.
Yeah. I want this to work. I want to see what Fangio and Chad Kelly can do.
Well, I think there's no way that I could ever believe that Fangio is satisfied with the defensive line.
No, hell no. There is no way.
Quite frankly, he should not be equally as happy with the offensive line.
Agreed.
So they have plenty of receivers. They have plenty of tight ends. Okay.
Al Davis team right there.
Yeah. So can they concentrate? Maybe they need a corner to pay a corner. But again, Yeah, but then, I don't, they're lacking in that department. But I think that the key to the whole thing is coming up with a defensive line that is legit.
Thank you. And linebackers that are legit too.
Legit. Yeah, yes. This is yes. So
okay. Can I say something to sports talk? They are still defending Josie Jewell and Alexander Johnson. How in the fuck can you defend these two in coverage?
because they don't.
Oh my God.
We're looking at the Buffalo Bills, right? We're looking at the Steelers. We're looking at we're looking at teams that actually have top flight.
The Chiefs too. I mean, they don't have the Chiefs have better linebacking.
Yeah. So all they look at is myopically is what the same old thing. That's what's got to go. That's what we're saying. Cleaning.
God.
Again, we have a 5-11 team for a reason. But
people are proud of that.
It's not about injuries, okay? Because even when the injuries weren't there, they were still getting their asses handed to them.
Yeah, Casey, your boy Casey was, oh my God. Like so Casey.
If we don't see, in my opinion, if we don't see a clearing house, a cleaning of the house, special teams, and one upside though, I was very happy to see Tyree Cleveland actually accelerate as a receiver, and I understand when in college in college you don't always you probably never get to play special teams in college, when you're a first on the first string. So I understand that some of these cats come here, but we need player personnel because, in my opinion, special teams is made up of football players.
Thank you. And that's a vital part to winning.
Yeah, because you can put a lot of athletes on a team, but that doesn't mean they're football players. You don't have it up here for football.
Do people not realize during 2015 the Broncos had a real when it came to punt returns and kick returns, they weren't very good at it. But when it came to a collective unit on special teams, they were one of the best. You had Brandon McManus and Brandon Colquitt. Brandon McManus during that year, during the Super Bowl run, went 10 for 10 for field goals. That doesn't happen.
He's another guy totally distracted.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my God, you guys are still going to defend Casey. You guys are still going to defend Boye. You're going to defend.
That's why we've got to be the channel that's anti that, because this again, to get the cultural change, you have to shed off these idiots, okay, and you have to start doing things the correct way and realizing who is not cutting it. To me, Josie Jewell, it's fine if you want him as a backup. I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. Okay. Alexander Johnson, rotational, maybe. But I sent you a link with Al Wilson, and there's no comparison. Absolutely.
Yeah. You should link that to the channel because that's ridiculous. The people that are comparing Alexander Johnson to Al Wilson, you guys call us idiots and stupid? I mean, you right there just made yourself look stupid comparing a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame in Al Wilson, a guy that should be a Ring of Famer. Is he a Ring? No, he's not a Ring of Famer. That is absurd.
No. Again, it goes back to, like I said, what you saw with the Bills, their linebacker, they're on another level.
Oh God, even
when all you've seen, you can't fall in love with players when you're a 5-11 team. You just can't.
And why are people excited that we're 5-11 and we have a good draft pick?
Yeah, ramen noodle.
Like come on.
Ramen noodle.
God, dude,
that's why I say
I can't do it.
So, what it is we have to look at the scouting department. In my opinion, that needs to be scrapped.
Yes.
We need Fangio and Champ Kelly to bring in their own scouts, plus with maybe Munchak's help too for offensive line help.
And that's exactly where I was going to say. You have Fangio and Champ focus on the defense, and you have Mike Munchak because Drew Lock is going to be here for another year. They're going to go after, God, please, just because Nick Foles played in Chicago, don't bring him here. I do not want a Nick Foles that contract, and I do not want him. I don't like Nick Foles.
Here's the thing.
I can't do it.
They're
I can't do it.
indicating they're going to stick with Locke.
Yes, basically. And I knew this was going to happen. I said that they ain't going to go after a veteran, but the Matthew Stafford thing, people are like, oh, the hot take radio, I'll just put it out to be a joke, and they ran with it. Well, if you're going to put it out as a fucking joke, then say it, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, no, because they looked like a joke.
Yeah, you guys look like a fucking joke for suggesting that we should go after Matthew Stafford, you idiot.
Yeah, no.
Benjamin Albright.
Yeah, then that's a way you lie to everybody.
Yeah, you are a manipulator.
Everybody else.
We don't lie on this fucking channel here.
No.
Sorry.
No. So what? Okay, first, like I said, we got to get rid of the scouts. That'll make me more of a believer. Then we got to start getting. The next thing is getting clearinghouse. Much to the chagrin of all the feel good fans. Okay, then we can talk about getting rid of safeties, who to bring in and what. We can talk about that. But I want to see what happens with the scouts, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see then what happens with cleaning house. Then, we're so far removed from the draft right now. We have other issues to do before we can even.
Yeah. I think that we should, like you say, we got to focus one thing at a time. So Chad Kelly's going to be hired as the next GM, okay? I mean, there's so many reports supporting that it's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's logical.
It's the most logical solution out there besides the Matt Russell thing, which nobody will bring up. Nobody brings up.
Except Elway.
Well, yeah, because that was his right-hand man.
Yeah.
And then we got to talk about during free agency, okay, this is going to determine whether this Chad Kelly and Vic Fangio thing's for real, because that's going to be the trickle down effect going into the draft with player personnel decisions. Who are they going to let go, et cetera, et cetera. Do I want to get rid of Justin Simmons? No, I think he is an okay player. I would try to give him. Okay, we could talk about it another time, but if you're going to pay him top 5 money, I'm getting out of that. Because he's going to want top 5 money because he thinks he's the all-world safety that he's not.
No, he's not. He's not in that league.
No. Shelby Harris is gone. Von Miller is going to leave in a year. This whole thing is just going to be blown up. I mean, you're not half of these players that are on defense and half of these players that are on offense aren't going to be here. And people in the comments say, why are you not talking about Drew Lock? Because this is bigger than Drew Lock. This is a lot bigger than Drew Lock. Did I see incremental growth through the season? Yes. But it's not all about the quarterback. I'm focused on the trenches. I'm focused on the linebacking. I'm focused on the cornerback situation. Because Drew Lock, I have full trust in you to do your thing. I'm not worried about Drew Lock here. I'm not worried about Drew Lock. I'm worried about the other positions of need that are on this football team. Okay? I think what you're going to see is idiotic decisions in this offseason. They're going to be stagnant, and they're not going to make the necessary moves to turn it around. And I know that people don't want to hear that, but I'm just giving you my opinion that this is just going to be the same old shit that we have seen the past 10 years. Buyers beware, like you said.
Buyer beware. Yeah. So I like I said, it's that's where we are. We're at the cleaning house. Once this whole Champ Kelly gets finalized, I don't know if it's after the Super Bowl or I don't know when that.
It might be at the end of the week, maybe.
Or they can legally do that.
I think
is Chicago in the playoffs?
No.
Okay, so
no. Yes, they are. Yes, I think they are. Yeah, they're in the playoffs.
So I don't know what can they legally claim until they're out or maybe they can. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I mean, they have been able to interview them, so I don't think there's any problem in hiring them. If you like him, hire him.
Or will the actual hire, or they will announce that he will be hired. Like I said, I don't know if they can actually hire him until their season ends.
Yeah.
The bottom line is maybe they're going to trot out some fake.
Yes.
Come here. Really bad names that are desperate. The desperate. Yeah. Just we get past all this, and we get Champ Kelly, and then from there we're going to see. Just keep an eye on what's going on behind the stage.
Yes.
What's going on behind the stage? Because in my opinion, there's some cleaning house they need to do. I don't know if it's is coaching a part of this? I don't know.
Todd McMahon will probably be fired. I think that's the only move you'll see on the coaching front. I don't think that you're going to see anything in the player personnel department that will warrant change. I don't think that you're going to see anything in the scouting, which you really want. And this is why I want Adam Peters, because he's a great scouter of talent in the college level. And I think if Adam Peters was here, he would get rid of this scouting department. What I've been hearing from about Champ Kelly is that he's more of the pro player personnel side, which is the pro players in the National Football League. So this is why I think they're going to keep the scouts to help him out in the draft this year. And then they're going
to. So is he more of a free agent dude?
Yep.
Okay,
that's what I've heard. And that's what this is exactly why I was, yes, exactly. This is exactly why I'm not sold on the Champ Kelly thing.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. They need some free agent moves. They need to clear house.
Yes.
Casey is obviously Hot Tub Time Machine is nothing but a liability.
But that's why I want a mixture of both. You know what I mean? I think Adam Peters is that. I think that your guy is that, and we're not going to get that.
Well, they can't function in the island of misfit toys.
No,
they have to go to an organization as an owner. Okay,
like the Panthers,
and start from the ground up.
Yes.
That's the ticket right there.
Yes.
So this is a dysfunctional situation still, no matter what.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see how serious all this is. If we see just more of the same, it's just Elway as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If this goes down the toilet, two things. One, if this goes down the toilet, Elway still needs to be blamed, no matter what.
Oh yeah, we'll be the first person. We'll be the first channel to do that, and the only channel.
Now, also, if this thing succeeds because he actually doesn't meddle, because and the people and Fangio, I'm going to have to hold Fangio responsible. If he doesn't do the right thing, then I don't want to hear about it either. But if he does, and it succeeds, I'll give Elway credit.
Mm-hmm.
If this thing actually gets turned around. But I think there's got to be, again, the cultural change has to come with some pretty major moves, not just window dressing. It's look at our facade, isn't it nice? While everything stays the same. That's what you're saying. You're saying what we have here is everything staying the same, and there's just a nice billboard in front of that looks like look paradise. Here's paradise. You can live here. And then behind there's a dump. There's a big garbage heap.
I think what you saw from this move from Elway was an Ozzie Newsome move. He's not on the level of Ozzie Newsome, but he's still going Ozzie Newsome. The one thing I respect about Ozzie Newsome, if he wasn't a meddling type of guy. He is one of the most underrated GMs. Was one of the most underrated NFL GMs. I respected a lot of what he did for the Baltimore Ravens because he built his team in the trenches.
He understood football. I mean,
exactly, and Elway doesn't. Elway doesn't understand. Football. Elway doesn't understand football. Elway doesn't understand the concepts of football. He played. He was a great player. Don't get me wrong. He is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. But that's about it. You have failed on so many aspects that picking Donald Stevenson over Mitchell Schwartz. Oh my God. It's just one of those idiotic moves. Signing Menelik Watson. The list goes on and on.
It goes
Not
on.
Getting Jordan Phillips.
Radio didn't want to talk about all that.
No, they don't because they're idiots.
I was going to bring up that article. I was going to go through it. Maybe we could go through it on another day. But, how there's an asterisk next to each one of their fluff. He did this. Well, he didn't really do it. Like you said, Von Miller, you mentioned yourself. Adam Peters was the one that actually scouted it and said, this is the guy you got to hire. We got to give Elway credit for signing off on it. but then he wanted to get rid of the people that brought him those players, so.
I want to tell you a little story about that draft night. It was a very close call on Vaughn and Marcel Darius.
And Adam Peters was the one that pounded the table.
Adam was the one that was continuing to pound the table during draft night. This is a generational talent. This is your Derek Thomas 2.0. And look what he's done in San Francisco.
Yeah.
This is just ridiculous. I can't fathom what if John Elway had full power, he would have went after Marcel Darius. And he's not on the same level and he's a defensive tackle. And
so Elway was really high on the other guy.
Huh?
So Elway was really high on the other guy.
He was never high on Vaughn.
So maybe Pat Bowlen, who knows? Who knows how that? But he did sign off, and he did sign off on it.
Yes, he did.
But like you said, it probably wouldn't have happened without Adam Peters pounding.
And I want to bring up another thing on that article. Wes Welker. John Elway didn't freaking get Wes Welker to come here. It was Peyton Manning.
Well, yeah, all those players.
Wes Welker has said that on numerous occasions.
Of course.
And he's one of the most underrated slot receivers in Broncos history. I think he's a lot better than Oakley, Doakley, Stokely.
Well, yeah, nobody. Again, I think that he's just been memory hold.
Yes.
But yeah, yes. I don't let Manning's. Again, why is Manning here? They made that number one, but they really don't mention. They don't even like to mention Pat Bowlen anymore.
That's what's pissing me off. Like, you're gonna piss on his legacy.
Yeah.
That's. I think that's something a topic that we need to talk about. How they are continuing to just shit on Pat Bowlen. I think number one, they're scared shitless because they're not going to have their free room in the suite that Elway has allowed.
Yeah.
And they realize that an owner's coming, and it's coming fast. And
yeah.
I really do think that it's going to be in my heart of hearts, this is still a franchise that's prominent, and I think that they are going to get an owner that's not going to put up with this shit. I think that now that they're not starting to bring up Pat Bowlen, I think that they're realizing, and they're scared shitless because of what John Elway just did. I mean, their heads are running around with their chicken with their head cut off. But I don't think that they're going to get a Dan Snyder. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that this franchise is still a prominent franchise because of the past legacies and stuff. That I think the NFL still wants Denver to be a top 10 franchise. And I think that they're going to hire somebody that does not take any bullshit. That Pat Bowlen, like a Pat Bowlen disciple.
Well, this is my question: is who's going to determine who this franchise gets sold to?
NFL. I think the NFL is going to do it because I don't think the trust in the thing. I think the NFL said, "Hey, there's gonna be two things. If you guys can't resolve this in court, I think the NFL is going to take over and choose an owner for this franchise." And I think Roger Goodell respects this franchise because of Pat Bowlen.
Yes. It's unfortunate that I think that's one thing. I think that is one thing. Maybe they could all agree on is maybe an owner an order to sell to. I think they all have to agree on that.
And you got to see Joe Ellis in full force, and what a joke. I mean, I can't stand looking at Joe Ellis. I can't stand him at all. I mean, what a disgrace. For this guy to get away with this for this long is just an absolutely just disgrace. People want to blame Elway. I blame Joe Ellis for not having the balls to fire John Elway. For not just recognizing what Pat Bowlen did for your ass. And giving you the prompt position to have the power that you have had.
Well,
this is just, I can't stand. And when Ellis was like, Ellis in his news conference, Elway ain't gonna medal. That's total bullshit. They're speaking out of their ass.
Yeah, they're speaking out two sides of their mouth. We know
just like Elway in his press conference. You got to see it, and this is why I cautioned you. I'm like, just wait. This press conference is just getting started. I texted you that last night at work. I was like, it gets better, and this is exactly why I'm not excited about the GM hire. is because I think Elway's still going to be Elway. I don't.
Elway
He
as
needs to
usual.
be out of the
It's
picture.
Elway.
Out of the picture.
Yeah. Yeah. It just gave himself more insulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that, a lot of the people that went to my video, my last video, I don't think any of them really understand that. I think they honestly gobbled up the BS, swallowed it whole. That this is gonna Elway isn't gonna have anything to no, I agree with you, but I think though, to be fair to Vic Fangio, he really needs to step for real down. To be fair to Vic Fangio, what he promised Vic Fangio, go back to the beginning of our podcast.
Yep.
And let those two and Mike Munchak figure out how to clean house, including these horrible scouts that they've had.
Yeah, we're going to draft Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. Get rid of all that and bring in new scouts, a new culture, and bring the dogs back in. Bring in the dogs. Not a bunch of has-beens, not a bunch of hot tub time machines, but bring in, we're going to have to, then we'll just start discussing, on their next video, after we figure out what's going on, we'll discuss who's got to go. We know the top, maybe a lot of the people on special, there's a lot of people on special teams. Maybe they have to go.
Yes, I agree. I think that there's a lot of people that need to go. I really want Vic Fangio to emulate what he did in Chicago. I think how he built that defense, and it took time, but he hasn't gotten that opportunity to have say because of Elway. And this is his last year. This is Vic Fangio's last year in Denver. So to hope that he can do anything with this roster, I think is just premature at this point, because I think that him and Chap Kelly are just insulation for Elway. So they can all blame Champ Kelly and Fangio, but not look at the guy who's overseeing all the operations of the player personnel. People don't realize how important player operations is, or what his title is, because he's the guy that makes the ultimate decision on who's not gonna be in this organization anymore in terms of the scouting and coaching department. I mean, look it up on Google, because everybody thinks they're gods on Google, and I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just a facade.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna trust this anything until the moves that they start making. And I just beware and just beware, because I think that what you're gonna see is another Elway offseason, because this is his last hurrah.
But this time he's got some extra insulation. So
exactly.
So when this team gets sold, he can go to whoever owns the team and say, "Look, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I gave all that to them."
Yeah. Why do you think that they did this a year early?
Well,
it makes no sense from a franchise standpoint. This makes no sense.
That's what I was. That's the thing I wanted to bring up. This is what I was going to bring up. A part of the topic was before Elway hired Fangio. Do you think that maybe Elway should have, if Elway was like you say, like Ozzie Newsome, do you think he should have stepped away? And do you think he should have tried to get a GM that would work on getting a head coach and work on a system for the next few years?
Bring in Champ Kelly.
Well, I wouldn't take Champ Kelly under that kind of situation.
Maybe, yeah.
I'd take an Adam Peters. Then you bring in
your guy.
Or my guy, something like this. It's going to build from the ground up. Okay, we're going to decide what head coach we're going to go with. Now we're going to get rid of the scouts that you have, because that are irrelevant, because now we've got a new coach working with a new GM. Okay, we have a system and a certain players that we're looking at. Okay, then we go to that next level. That's what should have happened before on that year they were looking for Fangio.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
If this was really to take it serious, and not wait till, it's just 1 year before this team's going to be sold, we're going to pull this stunt.
Yeah, and this is what Elway likes to do. He likes to have the headlines. This is a clown show. Next week it'll be, is Justin Simmons going to stay on the franchise tag or not? Or is he going to leave? Is Von Miller going to? from here on out, you're gonna hear the GM search. You're gonna hear the players that don't want to be here, and there's plenty that do not want to be here. So I don't think that Vic Fangio and Champ Kelly, for all the feel good radio STR that are promoting the Champ Kelly thing, it's not gonna work. Elway has to be out of the picture for this thing to be revived.
For real, yeah.
Yes.
So I think the national viewpoint of it is going to be similar to that.
Yes.
I think it's going to. Matter of fact, there was that quote from the NFL writer that said it was really slick of Elway to give himself a promotion when he's done such a horrible job. I mean, nobody else is writing fluff pieces for Elway.
Yeah, exactly. The national media can see what we're seeing.
Yeah.
They're not stupid like the Denver media. Oh my God, this guy. Oh, thank you, Elway, for all you've done. Elway's out of the picture now. Yay! My God, I can't do it.
So we're gonna, and here's the other thing too. There's always the possibility that they get lucky. No injury, schedule works out right, the ball bounces just right, everything goes their way, and they become 10-7 now, or 11?
10-6 that James Marilette says that we have to go. 10-6.
Yeah,
man, I'm so proud to go 10-6.
Yeah, I'm proud.
Don't get me started with that shit, James Marilette, you freaking idiot.
Yeah, no, like I said, so that would get missed. Yes, there would be a complete misunderstanding about where the Broncos really are.
This team ain't gonna go 10-6 next year. This year. I'm just gonna let people know that this team ain't gonna go 10-6.
I've got to see. I really got to see if what you're saying is correct about, and what I'm saying, if nothing changes.
Okay. I'll let you in on a little insight. Go back and watch that press conference again, because I watched it twice. Go back and watch the John Elway thing. I'm just gonna help give you some insight here. Go back and watch that press conference, and then go and look at all the. This is what I did last night, and this is why I was questioning everything. Go back and watch the national media outlets, and then go and watch the Denver Broncos media outlets. It's a circle where Elway insulation. Elway ain't gonna get blamed.
Yeah. Give me the links to both.
Okay.
Because all I've looked at was the one-on-one.
You can go on the internet and look up John Elway player operations, and they're just a crap ton of articles that say, "Oh, Elway is just Elway more insulation," or it doesn't say that, but if you read between the lines, it's clear as day.
Yes. So you're saying that the national perspective of this is what we're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. Just like what that writer said.
Yeah. So, and then the Broncos, the in-house media, protect our cushy little spots.
Yes.
It's all about putting insulation around Elway.
Yes. Don't, Elway, dude, if you listen to Broncos Country tonight, Benjamin Allray, Ryan Edwards, I was listening to them while I was at work doing my stuff. They literally said that Elway's Orlando Franklin and Sandy Clef. I'll send you this. They literally said that, part of the reason why he retires is because he doesn't want to get blamed anymore. They literally said that on the radio station.
Well, good for them. Good for them. They should say that.
Something right, but I'm just saying, that's going to cover Elway.
Yes.
They literally said what I've been saying, what me and you have said on this today, that it's for Elway not to be blamed.
Well, if it doesn't work, Elway still gets blamed. He still has.
Yeah, we'll be the first people to bring it to you. So
yeah, he will have to still get blamed, and I have to. If this thing was wildly if this thing, like I said, this is the thing too. You have to listen to what Vic Fangio has to say, because if I'm Vic Fangio, you got to be careful. But at the same time, I would leak out some information that says, "Hey, not really getting the leeway I said I was going to get."
Yeah. He needs to stand up for himself.
He's got to stand up for himself. He's got to stand up for the GM and say, we wanted to go in a certain direction and we were shot down.
Yes.
If it happens.
Now, I said in my previous video, if they get Champ Kelly, that is a part of a Vic Fangio thing because they have connections in Chicago.
Yes.
And plus, Champ was here before he went to Chicago with John Fox.
Yes.
I want to believe in Champ Kelly. I do. I know where you are coming from, and some other real outlets are coming from. I get it, but I'm just saying it's just insulation for Elway while Elway's still making the
they have to to do it right correctly. They have to get rid of all of Elway's bad picks and maneuvers and the crap that he's created, and they have to do it in one season. They've got people. They've got to. I mean, it just makes me so mad that we're paying Hot Tub Time Machine, Juwan James, at all. That this guy's still on the team. But the contract was so screwed up.
Same with Graham Glasgow.
And Graham Glasgow. Okay, work him. He should be the other guy's backup. They should switch. You just paid this guy 4 years, gave him a contract, but really you're a backup to the guy that's your backup.
And I'm hearing the two things real quick. I'm hearing that they want to move Glasgow to center. Oh.
Well, no, let's get an actual center. That's what I've been saying. Let's get an actual center.
Yeah. Get a veteran, have Cushenberry go back and learn and learn. I love I'm going to tell you this. I love Cushenberry. I'm not going to give up. I know that you have some problems with his game, but I think that what you need to do is you need to go out and sign a veteran center and have him learn from that guy like Jack Conklin did in Tennessee. I think that could be a mirroring image. But they're also saying, I heard Tyler Columbus. Oh, yeah, they're giving up on Locke. Idiot, village idiot D-Mac, the same old shit. Same with Oakley.
Yes, I'm getting it up the ass from everybody in Missouri, who said, like, why are you people giving up? And I agree with them. I agree. I didn't want Locke. Okay, I did. Okay, you wanted Locke. I didn't want Locke. But what we both agree on is you got him, and he is functional. But why don't you put an offensive line that actually works in front of him? Why don't you start play designing that works on his strengths? Can we start just with that?
God,
instead of going and getting starting all over. And if you're going to get rid of Locke, then get rid of Shermer then, or so go all out, right?
Yeah, stop with that Shermer experiment. Stop defending Shermer.
Yeah,
people, stop.
And there's nobody who is against Shermer than me.
And me. I don't like him. You were the first person to bring it up in the channel that I said it. There is nothing in his fucking play calling that gives me on a weekly fucking basis the confidence to go into a game and be like, oh yeah, he's going to outcoach that defense. Because it's the souped up Mike McCoy 3 wide receiver sets, the drag route.
That fucking drag route. Now that we saw again, the Raiders. Anyway,
against a two-man pressure, against a 2-man pressure in a Tampa 2.
Well, yeah, that was the Raiders. That was them not having any respect for Drew Lock whatsoever, which was stupid. I mean, it's like I said, it's not Lock. It's the fact of pass pro. But here's the thing. God. As much as I absolutely cannot stand Shermer, like the Giant fans, I have to stick with him because if bringing in another unless it's somebody. I mean, but again, who's going to come here?
I know.
You can't. They've got to do something about this offensive line.
Well, they're not. They're going to ignore it. They're just going to go with the same 5 they had this year. I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to ignore it. I'm letting you know right now they are going to ignore that.
This whole GM, Elway not meddling isn't. It's meaningless.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah, exactly. This makes no sense from a franchise standpoint to begin with. And number 2, that Elway's still going to be the GM. He just has a different title, and he's making the same money. What is that? I mean, we're going to ignore the offensive line?
So
Garrett Bowles, he's a top 5 left tackle.
So what did you say? You said go look up the operation.
Okay, so basically, I'll find those for you, and I will put them in the comments section as well, because I know there's going to be people, the feel good, the troll little shitters out there. But I'm just going to let you know right now. Go on the internet and just look up John Elway stepping down as GM, and it'll just be article upon article of insulation. It is ridiculous
From the Denver side, but I want to see
and from the national media.
I want to see the national. I want to see what
yes.
I want to see the contrast and comparison.
Yeah. There's one on NFL Network.
Okay, NFL, and they're also saying that this just looks like a con job.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why Ellis was so visibly agitated, because he knows what the national perspective is.
Exactly.
That John Elway is going to meddle. That you can't ask Adam Peters to come here and actually be a GM, because he's not. He's just a hand puppet for. There was the last comment on the video I put in that he said, Is this guy just going to be Vance Joseph all over again?
Yes.
And he hadn't seen my video. Said, is that what we're looking for? Vance Joseph all over again.
Yes. This is Champ Kelly. He's your next Vance Joseph.
Your next Vance Joseph.
He's a GM. Yes, man.
Yeah. So yes. Look, we hired a black guy, but we won't let him actually be a GM.
Don't even get me started with that shit. Don't even get me started.
Well, I was going to tell you.
I'm a white supremacist.
Before this champ Kelly, I was going to say that my prediction was they were going to hire a black guy, just for political correctness. That's what they were going to do. Okay, I said that I was going to tell you that they were going to do that because it's all about facade, right? But they won't let this black guy actually be a GM. Which I would take. Believe me, I would take Champ Kelly over Elway. I would, if I could just get him out of the way. Anything over Elway. But yes, so they get the politically correct facade.
We're not racist, so you're going to get that in this comment. I just want to put that out here right now. I'm sorry to interrupt. He's not being racist. Not,
but are the Broncos, because they're just doing politically correct things and not letting the guy actually do his job?
They've already done that with Vic Fangio or Vance Joseph.
They did that with Vance Joseph. They wouldn't let him be the coach.
No, and look how good he's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
He's doing better in freaking Arizona than he did here.
So what I'm saying is it's not genuine and it's not sincere. Is what we're saying.
It's insulation for Elway for him to just hide behind people.
Yeah, insulation for Elway.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go and we'll get I'll go through I want to get the national that's saying no, this is more of the clown show, and then show, oh look, the fluff, the Elway's so wonderful. Yeah. All right.
All right. I'm probably this week. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start looking up free agents for the whole aspect of the front seven and all that. And I'll shoot you some texts on some guys that I have an eye on. And I'm gonna start doing my films breakdowns on certain players.
Go get all the people you want, but before we do that, we need to talk about who needs to get the hell off this team.
Yeah. And that's why I'm gonna start breaking down film for the players that I want, but also the players that I think that we haven't talked about that need to go too. I'm going to start going back and watching the film from this past year from all 16 games and see who needs to go.
Yeah.
See who we need to get. So.
All right. Great. Good deal.
All right.
Take care.
Have a good day. Yeah, you too.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Get some sleep.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. Bye.
Bye.